welcome to Wholesome Roots. It's a beautiful, warm August day, and that boy just spotted his motorcycle. I think he means his tricycle. He called it a motorcycle though. Oh yeah, he's gonna have fun playing while Mama milks. I realized something this week is that there's a lot of new subscribers that don't really know a lot about me and a lot about the farm and the homestead. We got a lot of new subscribers from the Good, Bad, and Ugly collaboration, so I think a lot of you that are asking questions are from that. So I just kind of wanted to do a homestead update for everyone and kind of fill in some of the gaps of some questions you guys might have. So we're gonna start over here with the ducks and the bucks. This sweet boy right here is our herd sire, Bo. I've had him since he was a baby. He just knocked his scur off. He had a long scur, about that long, and he just knocked it off this week. A scur is a horn that was supposed to be burned off. So the base of the horn was burned off when he was little, but it wasn't burned off enough, so it allowed some regrowth, but it wasn't completely attached. So he was able to knock it off, and he's just kind of been a little mopey since he did that. I think it kind of gave him a headache. Tom right here is our turkey. We had 2 turkeys, but we lost the female about 2 years ago, I want to say. So he's about 2 or 3 years old, and he is exempt from the Thanksgiving dinner. We are hoping to get him some females and breed him because he has the perfect temperament. This is my youngest child, Liam. I also have a Rowan who's 6, a Dalton that's 17, and a Vivian that's 19. So I have 4 children total. 2 little and 2 big. And then these 2 bucks here, this is my junior herd sire, Fluffernutter. He came from a wonderful herd here in Georgia. He was a bottle baby when I got him, and he is super chill. He has not successfully bred yet, but we're hoping this year will be his year. He is just about at 2 years now, or a year and a half old, so he should be breeding. Eugene is a wether. That means his testicles were removed when he was little. He is our biggest goat. You see he's huge compared to the others. And this is my silly boy. And he's just a companion. He was a package deal. He came with his sister, Fancy 2, and her 2 doelings. So the 4 of them were a package deal. He's sweet. He's very, very loving. All 3 of my boys are very affectionate. As far as ducks go, we had started out with ducks about 3 or 4 years ago. We had a mixed batch for our first batch, and we had raccoons get them all. Then we started rescuing. So we got that roan there. He was a rescue. He was an accidental hatch from a local farm. He was in with the turkeys when they were hatching turkeys. So we had ducks the same age as him when we were asked if we could take him. That Muscovy right there was a rescue as well. She did have 4 or 5 other siblings with her when we rescued her, but unfortunately something, and I think a hawk or an owl, got the rest of them. And then I got anaconda hatching eggs. I also got silver apple yard hatching eggs, but only one of them hatched, and that's that male you see right there, the largest of all of them. That's a silver apple yard, which is a very nice dual purpose breed, but if I only have a male, it doesn't do me much good. So he's available for purchase if anybody wants him. The anacondas, I have mostly females with a couple of males, which is perfect because the anacondas are the ones that I want to breed and help keep the species going. They are a heritage breed, and there's lots of demand for the hatching eggs and baby ducklings for those guys. So I'm hoping that they start laying again. They just went through a molt, so nobody's laying right now, and we're gonna try. This area has worked out better for them, for predators, than any of the areas on the farm that we've had them previously. And I think it might have something to do with this sweet guy right here. The big turkey kind of acts as a protector. So we have quite the little menagerie over here, but they have all this space in this round pen. This round pen was previously used for a hog, so that's why there's some holes you see dug around the edge here, and that was the hog shelter. Look at you, silly boy. And then this is our goat herd. We rotationally graze all the way from almost to the house where that big stump is. There's a barbed wire in the brush, but it's not very secure. There's a lot of breaks in it. So we rotationally graze. So this is our goat herd. We have approximately 25 goats. A few of them are alpines. Most of them are Nubians with the long floppy ears. And some of the offspring are Nubian alpine crosses. Most of our herd is registered and from very good milk lines. These goats are my entire universe, really. I love them so much. They bring me so much comfort and joy. And despite the issues that we had over the past year, we have been able to keep these babies happy and healthy. We had some major losses last summer from a mysterious toxicity. We battled through that and we kept going and we stayed strong, and it wasn't easy. We then battled some unemployment issues through the winter that really set us back, but through it all we have stayed strong and tough and been very grateful for our YouTube community that has helped so much. But through it all, we had you guys. That is the one huge benefit, I would say, of having a YouTube channel, is the support of the community and friends that I have made here on YouTube, and how much you guys have prayed for us, helped us, supported us, donated to us, and gotten us through some of the hardest times we've experienced. The reason why there hasn't been a lot of vlog type videos in the last 2 weeks, since our subscribers jumped a pretty big number, is not because I don't make videos every day. I was making videos every day. But I've had some health issues that I'm trying to resolve, and it's been hard for me to do these videos on a regular basis. So I'm trying to get caught up. I'm trying to get healthy and get this YouTube community going strong and healthy once again. The garden is one of the things that I have had to let go this year completely. I normally have a thriving, beautiful garden. For those of you wondering what happened here, I actually went through and weeded. Yep. That's all weeds. That's all weeds, and this is what it should look like. So I've got one bed done, back to the zucchini beans that we planted, and so this can be planted now for our late summer fall garden. And once I get the energy to come out and get this planted, I'll weed the next bed and just do what I can as I can do it. All of this over here is asparagus. It's got a lot of weeds coming up in it, but that's a perennial asparagus bed, so it mostly just stays there throughout the summer months. For those of you that are new to my channel, you may not know that I am a certified master gardener. I'm a certified landscape professional. I am a certified journeyman farmer. I don't know, there's a lot of certifications I could list, but basically I have been through the schooling, I have been through the training, I have been through the hands-on training and mentorship for goats and gardens immensely. So I really know what I'm talking about when I give advice about small ruminant production in regards to goats or sheep. It's because I've been through small ruminant schooling. I also have an extensive knowledge of chicken and poultry. We have the ducks, the turkey, the quail, and the chickens. I've had chickens on and off for the past 15 years, I guess. The past 8 years solid, I've had chickens. Before that, it was like I would get chickens and then something would get them, and then I wouldn't have them for a little while, and then I'd get them again. So we have a mix of chickens, and if you're wondering why we don't free range, we have a very healthy hawk population here, and the hawks are big enough to pick up my chickens. They don't seem to be big enough to pick up the ducks, and that's the one reason why I've been able to put the ducks out there, because the ducks are bigger, bulkier, and harder to get. We have 2 livestock guardian dogs. One is a Great Pyrenees, Khaleesi. She has been outside with livestock since she was born, so she does not come in the house. When we first got her, she was 7 months old, and we would bring her in for visits in the house to try to bond her, because she had a lot of social anxiety issues when we got her. She is much better now. She is much friendlier and happier, and she does great with the chickens. We have not been able to do the goats with the livestock guardians yet, because the goats act crazy when they see a dog. They are terrified. So we've been doing this side by side paddocks for quite some time now to try to get the goats to become used to the sight of these dogs. And eventually, when I have my strength back and I have my energy back, I'm gonna do a lot more work with them. And what I'll do is introduce them slowly and friendly, and teach them that they're healthy and good for each other. Then we've got the pup. He is only 5 months old, if you can believe that. He is a livestock guardian, but he's also a pet. So he is inside the house in the evening. After our evening chicken chores and putting away the goats, he comes in with us and he hangs out with us. The other day, he decided he was going to tromp across the top of the chicken tractors, destroying our tarps, crushing the wire, and he even unfortunately crushed one of the birds. So this plastic fence across the front is our new testing him. He's a puppy still. Puppies, whether they're livestock guardians or not, should not be trusted with chickens. You see the way he's looking at them? I mean, like, come on, he wants to eat them. These are a rare breed that we're trying to keep separate so that we can hopefully get some hatching eggs from them, and then we're going to sell them. So they are for sale right now on a Facebook group, and hopefully we'll get them sold soon. They're called Golden Duckwing Phoenix. So anybody in the Noonan area interested in a rare breed pair, I am selling those. I also have a cream leg bar and a couple of cream leg bar roosters that I am willing to sell as well. We have maintained our goat herd with completely natural deworming protocol. We do a weekly herbal dewormer, and then we also do every 6 to 8 weeks, we do a stronger herb for 3 days. We also do garlic ginger paste if we suspect somebody's having serious issues, and we always check their eyelids for the FOMACHA score to tell if they are anemic and they need something more than just the herbs. We give them garlic ginger paste. We also use essential oils from doTERRA to help treat any parasite issues we might have and boost immune system if somebody seems a little off or sick. We have not had to use chemical dewormer yet. We do rotationally graze, and I know that's a big part of it in keeping them healthy, but we also boost their immune system with the herbs. We use Molly's herbal dewormer primarily, and we also use Fir Meadows GI Soother as a huge boost in keeping the parasite loads down and helping anybody with any GI upset. So if they have diarrhea, they get the GI Soother. Hi, Kitty. Kitty is our milk cow. So is Sister Ray. These two are the highest producers at this point in the herd. So they give us quite a bit of milk. And they both had doelings this year, so we are excited about that. They were both bred with Bo. So Bo's genetic line is from Honabu, and that's a really good genetic line. So we're excited to see what their daughters are going to bring us. Most of our herd is young. Most of them have not been bred yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how this grows moving forward. So my parents wanted to raise us completely natural. We lived off the land as much as possible. We foraged for food and mushrooms, and we grew all of our own food. What we didn't grow, we got from a co-op that my mom started, and it was all organic, all natural. We didn't have white flour or sugar in the house. It was all wheat or honey as sweeteners. So I spent my childhood picking cherry tomatoes and raspberries. I gardened from a very young age, and I continued gardening all through my adult life. As soon as I moved away from home at the tender young age of 17, I started a patio garden in my apartment patio that was about this big. It was the tiniest patio that you can imagine, and I had pots of tomatoes, peppers, and some herbs as well. I couldn't believe how gross store-bought cucumbers and tomatoes were, and so I immediately began growing my own as soon as I moved out. I also did canning and stuff like that as well. So to me, that was homesteading. I was still homesteading even though I lived in an apartment. Homesteading isn't defined by the number of acres you have or the number of animals you have. Homesteading to me is a way of life, a way of thinking. It's a lifestyle to try to be as sustainable as possible and do as much for yourself as you can, whether it's growing it yourself or buying it from the farmer's market and preserving it yourself, even if it's just putting it into mason jars or dehydrator and preserving it that way, even if you didn't grow it. To me, that's still being sustainable and being a homesteader. My first few years of college were spent studying plant biology or botany, and I was majoring in that. And then I switched to education for a little time, and then when we moved, I began taking college courses in greenhouse management and operations. One of my jobs early on was working in a greenhouse doing transplants. We sold little baby tomato plants, flower plants, all of that stuff. We also, the place that I worked was also a farm that had a farm stand where they sold tomatoes and such. That was back when I was pregnant with my daughter, so 20 years ago. 20 years ago, guys, I was doing the greenhouse stuff and loving it. And that's why I chose that as my next semester of school when we moved. We moved about 6 or 7 times during that time in my life. So college education kept getting changed and put on the back burner. But what I always had was a garden. Always. Some were huge, some were little. But they were all beautiful and productive. This is the first time in my life I have not had a beautiful, productive garden. And that's when I really, really knew that something was wrong with my health, is the fact that I couldn't garden. It's my favorite thing to do in the whole world. The fact that I couldn't do it told me something was very, very wrong. So we are getting to the bottom of that, and we will have answers very, very soon. From there, I went on to gardening as a career. I was a gardener for an inn where I grew all of the vegetables for the inn's conferences and everything. I also maintained their landscaping all the way around the inn property. I then went on to work at Callaway Gardens, one of the premier horticulture institutes in the entire Southeast. That was a wonderful experience. I got to manage the gardens at the Butterfly Center at Callaway, and we actually went through a complete renovation of the indoor tropical conservatory and the outdoor native pollinator gardens, where I got to not only design, plan, install, and maintain amazing, beautiful butterfly creations. That was a lot of fun. But I missed growing food. Even though I grew food at home, I felt like I was needing to grow more food on a bigger scale. And that's when I took the change and went back to work at the inn that I used to work at. It now was a thriving community built all around it, with a farm-to-table restaurant inside. So the farm-to-table restaurant required tons of vegetables to be grown. That is when I really got to just grow beautiful vegetable gardens every day. And it was so wonderful. I loved it. Fortunately, the people that I worked for were kind of underhanded and not good people. They were deceitful to the community, and they were deceitful to their restaurant guests, and I had to put an end to that. I could not work for people that were not morally correct. So I quit working there, and that was when I was pregnant with this little guy right here, Liam. And that's when my symptoms really spiked. During my pregnancy with him, I began getting very anxious, lots of anxiety, lots of stress feelings. My feet were throbbing and aching and tingling in ways that they never did in my other pregnancies. All of these things I wrote off as, I'm an old lady having a baby. I'm much later in life now, and it's not as easy on my body. But now I'm starting to know and understand that those were the first clues that something was wrong. And I'm glad now that I know, or have a very good idea, what that might be, and we are going to work to fix it. So these quail are our oldest quail at the time now. We had Chugar partridge for the last 2 years because we were told that they were baby quail when we bought them. So we got a good experience on how to take care of this type of bird. And now we have these. These are our newest hatches. They have not started laying eggs yet, but they are just wonderful birds. They are great because they will be ready to lay eggs in 6 to 8 weeks from hatching. So they are awesome for a homestead. So in addition to being raised with goats, I have been around or directly worked with goats the rest of my life. When I didn't have a job that involved working with goats, I would go and visit goats at my friends' farms and mentor with them and learn everything I could. I joined like 50 different goat groups across the internet, mostly on Facebook groups, and learned everything I could, read through every comment, read through every question asked, and every file that they had in their files, so that I would fully understand goats long before I got them. We got our goats about 3 years ago, and we've been pretty happy growing our herd since then, and learning even more by the hands-on learning that we get from having them in our own backyard, and not just when we went to work or went to mentor at a friend's farm. When we first moved here, we expanded our chickens dramatically. We decided that we had so many egg customers that we were going to increase our supply as our demands were increasing for eggs. And so we added to our flock and added to our flock and added to our flock until it got to the point where we weren't selling enough eggs. We had extra eggs and we had too many eggs, and eggs were being wasted. So we began cutting back our flock. We began cutting back this year, and it's been much better with a few less chickens. We still have too many roosters and probably too many hens because we're still getting a lot of eggs. But I think we're at a much more manageable level now. And these chicken tractors that were featured on the Great American Farm Tour with Justin Rhodes for the $5 chicken tractor have been really great because we get to move them every day to fresh grass, and they get to have all the fresh grass, all the bugs, and all the non-GMO chicken layer pellets that we can give them. One of the things I really picked up with my 40 years of gardening experience and my numerous certificates through gardening, through UGA and other resources, I really excelled at pest identification and determining what to do about what types of pests. So I'm particularly good at identifying the pest and determining the best natural or organic way to treat that pest situation. I think a lot of that comes from the fact that I'm such a scientist at heart. I classify things very much in my brain. I'm like, this group and this family and this group and this family is classified. And so it's really helped me learn pests well. And I think the fact that I've lived in several different states across the country, from the Midwest to the Southwest to the Southeast to the Northeast, no matter where I've lived, I've had different pest situations come up. So it's really taught me a lot on hands-on experience with the gardening. Something else besides gardening but plant related is foraging. I was raised in a foraging family. My mother, her uncle, her grandmother, they were all foragers and continue to be to this day. My mom still goes out and forages for food. And that's something that we have really embraced in our lifestyle, and the children are learning from us, and we are loving it. So make sure you check out some of the playlists. We have a foraging playlist, we have a goat playlist, we have a chicken playlist. If you're looking to learn about anything, we pretty much covered it. And if we haven't, let us know. We'll do a video on it. So I guess I just wanted to just make sure that everybody, but especially the new people, were fully aware that homesteading is my life. It always has been my life. And I know a great deal about it, all aspects of it, from livestock to gardens to working in the kitchen, whether it's a fermentation project, canning, or cooking from scratch. These are the ways that I've lived my life since I was born. So they are very ingrained in me, and the teacher side of me wants to share it with everyone. I want everybody to have this lifestyle. I know not everybody can, but the little things that you can do in your own backyard, from having 3 chickens in your backyard or having a tomato plant on your patio. Doesn't matter how big or small your property is or what your skill level is, you're a homesteader too, or you wouldn't be watching this. So I appreciate all of the support to our channel, and I apologize that things haven't been as normal as they usually are, and that videos haven't been coming up daily. But I think we're on the verge of a breakthrough in my health. And once we get that taken care of and we're working towards a solution with that, then it's going to be much easier for me to do these videos for you guys. And that brings me joy. I like doing YouTube videos for you guys. So please keep asking the questions. Keep sending the emails and the messages. Let me know what you want to learn more about, what you'd like to see more of. Because I love having suggestions and walking out in the morning knowing that I have something to go film because somebody asked about it. So keep asking, keep watching. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps us. I noticed that my subscriber to non-subscriber ratio of who's watching the videos is almost 50-50. And I found that interesting because Why haven't the other 50% of my viewers subscribed yet? If you're one of those, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost you anything, it just helps support our channel, because the higher our subscriber number goes, the more likely we are to be picked up by the YouTube algorithms and get suggested to other people so that we get even more subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already.
What's my Wholesome Roots?
And we'll see you next time on Wholesome Roots.
Bye!